Good day, ladies and gentlemen. After such a great jazz, I felt when I was listening jazz, I felt in my dreams, and now it's quite hard to stand in front of you and speak with you. But, however, I would like you to congratulate and to welcome you here for the opening of the second Congress of Numanities. And knowledge is the most precious asset of society, and only constant learning can grow and improve our society and create a better and brighter future for all of us. Every day humanities are growing through a sophisticated process of information technologies integration which influence various areas of science. The target of higher education is not only to create and spread the knowledge of science, but also to disseminate values and culture and develop the personality. I strongly believe that this Congress shall become an open platform for discussions about what challenges are for humanities in the modern society. I would like to wish you a benefit from valuable presentations, great discussions, and to find unexpected angles of thinking, and also have a nice stay in Kaunas. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope that you hear me without a mic. Is that okay? I don't like the mic. Should I stop? So, good afternoon, dear participants. Good afternoon, council members and our guests from the university. Welcome to Kaunas, welcome to Lithuania, welcome to the week of diversity, creativity and development. I'm very happy to see familiar faces from the last year. I'm very happy to see the new ones and to greet the new ones. I'm happy that this year the Congress will take place in the premises of the Faculty of Social Sciences, Arts and Humanities. This means at home. So I hope that all of you will feel like at home here. And I promise you that we will try to do our best to be a good hosts. So welcome to Kaunas and the faculty. Interestingly, that every year we select a nomination for the most outstanding event or achievement of the year. So I'm very honored to announce that last year, the first Congress of Humanities received a nomination for the best event of the year. So congratulations to Daria. The title of this year is extremely interesting because for different researchers it raises, I'm sure, different questions. What are the main preconditions for the development? How important diversity and creativity is for development? Cultural identity and cultural diversity, are they compatible? And many others. And I guess for different researchers, different questions. And I'm sure that, this week we will have a lot of opportunities to try to answer to these questions and or to look for different answers. And I think that we will have ample opportunities because the agenda is very rich. There are not only presentations but also open workshops, discussions, debates. Also, we will have, as You know, those who remember last year, very rich cultural program. So I guess that this Congress will not only give us an opportunity to become more creative and to appreciate diversity, but also will provide us a lot of networking opportunities, and that all of us will enjoy this event. Using this opportunity, I also would like to congratulate you on behalf of our rector, Petras Baršauskas. He's with his team, is on business trip this week, and unfortunately he couldn't participate, but he sends best regards to all of you. Warmest regards, and feel like at home at KTU. So I wish to the Congress a lot of energy, challenging discussions, and that special atmosphere which was created actually last year, and we all participants of the Congress enjoyed that atmosphere a lot. So all the best, and have a good conference, and enjoy Kaunas and Lithuania and KTU.
Distinguished Councillor of the City and Dean of the Faculty, and our dear hosts, Dario, Lina, and Audrone, and all dear colleagues and semioticians. So I'm very glad to be invited to say just very shortly a few words as a greeting from semioticians community, let's say so. And let me say openly that I really enjoy to be here, but because I'm now responsible for anything. So, because I've been doing these Imatra congresses for over 30 years, and I know what a tremendous big work it is. So I'm glad to be totally irresponsible now, except for my musicians who should be arriving here. And okay, let's hope that it will function well. Anyway, just to say about. Little bit, I'm terribly glad to see how this ISI is flourishing in Kaunas Technological University, and how it has become really part of the university, an independent institution, and I'm quite sure that this will have a future definitely in the scientific world of the European Union and the whole world. I think this is very important. So what about then semiotics? Because of course we are all depending on the development and history of this discipline which we represent. I will say that I speak about invisible semiotics because I think there is so much semiotics in the world which is just not mentioned with that title, but it is in fact semiotics. So that some may have the feeling that semiotics has disappeared from the headings of the newspapers and TV news, but it is there. That is quite definite and very strongly. Officially, if we think which countries have this official title of semiotics, it's amazing how it's diverse. I just had a talk yesterday with Christian Bankov, the Secretary General of the IASS, and he told that, for instance, in Italy, who has much semiotics, it's not recognized officially as a discipline in the ministries. So it's very diverse in different countries. But anyway, it is there. And I will say that what is rather peculiar is that it seems to me that all the traditions of semiotics, they continue existing parallelly or simultaneously. This evokes me a little bit. I've been studying Latin American music history, and it's typical of this continent that, let's say, some tradition invented in the 16th century or 17th or 18th, some tradition, it is there, it is preserved archaically, and they are all superimposed. Here in the Europe, we are used to the historical change that we have now one fashion, one trend, then it goes away, then comes the next one. But somehow in semiotics, and in spite of the idea of McLuhan that we live in a hot society in which everything is very, very quickly changing, like in economic life, we have the quartal economy. I think semiotics, these are preserved, and so I would say that mention here a list of 5 different points which are exciting. Namely, all classics of semiotics seem to continue. Peirce, Greimas, Lottmann, Yxkull, and also there are still very fervent believers in this great who absolutely think that what they said once, that is the truth, and we don't need to study what they said. So I think these classics, they stay. But then on the other hand, there are many new empirical fields in which semiotics is nowadays applied. And I just made a very tentative list of the most recent issues in this field. And there I find such things like, of course, we have translation studies, which are always present here in Kaunas, and cultural heritage study. We just had in Istanbul a week ago a big congress on that issue. Design, then all the visual semiotics of law, music, musical signification. Our next big congress will be in Canterbury next year in April. Cinema, fashion, military leadership. That's something we do in Finland nowadays. Semiotics, we give the teaching at the School of Defense, and I hope cooperation with Lithuania in this field. Educational semiotics, or edu semiotics, very strong new issue. Future studies, future research is also a totally new discipline in which semiotics is helpful. And the semiotics of the disabled people. Nowadays we say disabled or handicapped, but maybe disabled people is, so all these therapeutical issues and others. So you see that it's extremely diverse and rich, this field in which semiotics can say something important in this world. Now, third, are there new theoretical approaches or openings? Well, of course, there are many. One person cannot remember everything, but we have, let's say, cognitive semiotics is very strong in Nordic countries. We may have such strange thing like existential semiotics, etc. So we have some efforts to create new theories as well and renew our theories. Now then, fourth, new geographical areas have been found for semiotics, like in Latin America, for instance, in which in many countries, I think there are people in Ecuador, there are many countries which have just established national societies of semiotics. And then I've been traveling in the Orient. We say Orient here, that means Iran, Kazakhstan, Turkey. Not Turkey, maybe not, but anyway, in all these countries, they have very exciting semiotic research going on. So I mean that geographically speaking, semiotics is expanding continuously. But then fifth point are just the publications. So you publish or perish, that's the classical saying. And of course, we can say that the book is in crisis. Books are in crisis. You know, if you write books, you know how difficult it is, how much time it needs, so that to make and how difficult it is. But anyway, new books appear all the time, and also there are in internet there are many new fields in that sense. So I would say that these 5 points show that semiotics is something very vigorous and lively and something very concrete reality among us, and so it's very nice to belong to this community of semioticians, and especially nice to be here in Lithuania and Kaunas. So of course for us Finns, this is very our neighboring country and very familiar to us. So I want to thank once again our hosts for organizing this second, and I think this will be certainly a permanent tradition, and we always love to come to Kaunas, especially in the summertime. It is so splendid here. So thank you once again. Indeed, I have a very good time here. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm here actually on the behalf of Dr. Paul Cobley, the president of the International Association for Semiotic Studies. He apologizes he can't be here today, but he sent a video which I'm going to show you now.
Colleagues in semiotics, I'm delighted to be able to address you as you embark on what promises to be a wonderful semiotics conference. Naturally, I'm sad.
I'm sorry, I didn't notice that. Changes.
Colleagues in semiotics, I'm delighted to be able to address you as you embark on what promises to be a wonderful semiotics conference. Naturally, I'm sad that I'm not able to be with you in person, yet in another way I'm glad to be able to link up with you via technology. As president of the IASS, the major challenge and opportunity I recognise for the association, its members and all semioticians is the digital world which we now all inhabit. One demand of that is contact, another is transparency. The IASS is devoted to both. My colleague and Secretary General of the IASS, Christian Bankoff, will be with you and I'm certain will be happy to discuss IASS issues with any conference delegate. I'm particularly pleased to send my best wishes to this conference with its noble heritage. In the International Semiotics Institute, it's the successor of major endeavours from the last 40 years to convene semiotics in Toronto and then in Imatra, Finland. Our Spiritus Rector, the late Thomas A. Seabiok, referred to the best of semiotics conveners as congeners, that is to say, congenial conveners. I'm pleased to say that the ICON conferences in Kaunas have one of the greatest congeners, my old friend Dario Martinelli. Bringing together this superb event year after year is a complex tour de force. Yet Seabiok often said that academic imperatives were quite simple: teach, publish, and network. On behalf of the IASS, I wish you well in your networking at the ICON conference and beyond in the world of global semiotics. I look forward to meeting with you again in the course of your work.
Good afternoon, dear representatives of Kaunas City, dear Dean of the KTU, dear friends and colleagues. Well, thank you very much, Dario Martinelli, for this wonderful invitation to speak here. Well, I have prepared a small intervention, which is based upon 3 questions. Questions that deal with the importance of semiotic and its role in contemporary society. The first one is related with the reason why semiotics has left Imatra and come to Kaunas. We know that there is a mentality today about how management should be done. This mentality is deeply rooted into the thought of what we could call some authors like Laswell and Lazarsfeld, the fathers of functionalism in the theory of communications. This kind of doctrine, it addresses the needs of day-by-day life with some kind of pragmaticism that is based upon numbers, quantities. All the time, people think about quantities and always in the short term. An example that I had in a discussion some time ago was with respect to how people would maximize their usage of lunchtime, for example. Oh, we have to get rid of hunger as quickly as possible. So, well, there is a solution like taking a honey pot and then a spoon, in 3 or 4 spoons, you got rid of your hunger. Are you fed? Are you nurtured with that? Of course not. Well, this mentality commits this kind of mistake all the time. So we have to maximize our resources. Is it the best way to maximize our resources? Always thinking about the short term and quantitatively. Well, that's one of the questions that semiotics can actually discuss too. Why not? Why shouldn't we discuss that? Why shouldn't we address these questions? Shouldn't we oppose this kind of mentality that actually has provoked lots of dramatic changes in education all over the world? A second question related with the first one. Applied semiotics is running really very well these days. Actually, 1/3 of my income this year came from consultancies that I have made to international agencies. So semiotics is now considered an important tool to help to analyze trends, like commercial trends, how much we sell, how much we can sell. Okay, when are we going to be asked about social trends, cultural trends, educational trends as well? Actually, I think that if we now have a reputation in helping sellings, we should have a reputation in helping society to fight other kinds of trends, which are far more important than these. And finally, a last point is with respect to cultural semiotics. There are lots of isotopies today which are related to fear. We live in a society which is nourished by fear. There is fear of military intervention, there is fear of criminality, there is fear of terrorism, and so on. Can we help to deconstruct these? Can we analyze this culture of fear? Can we deconstruct it and expose it in its contradictions and fragilities? So, I'd ask if we could be heard in these important questions, not as activists, but as scientists, and then offer our expertise to society in also this direction. So these are these 3 questions, these 3 small provocations to start with, and welcome all of you to the 2nd edition of the International Congress on Humanities. Thank you very much, Dario Martinelli, on behalf of Brazilian Association of Semiotic Studies and of my laureate international universities. Welcome. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the International Semiotics Institute, I welcome all of you to the 2nd edition of the International Congress of Humanities. Like last year, much more than last year, your response has been enthusiastic and generous, and we are very happy to host over 140 participants from about 30 countries and representing about 60 academic institutions. You may have already had a look at the program of the Congress, but let me to summarize the main events that we will have this week. So, ICON 2015 hosts 7 sessions, 3 workshops, 1 roundtable, and 1 symposium, plus 7 plenary sections. As this is a congress about creativity, we also have decided to spice it up with some resident artists who you will see or have already seen their presence in the halls of our faculty. So during this week, You will see some installations, their presentations. So I think this will be a very interesting experience to us. Besides the opening ceremony, ending with the reception to which you are all invited, the reception will take place upstairs on the 6th floor in this building. We will also have a social program which is meant to be rich and entertaining throughout the whole week. Tomorrow evening, we invite all of you to a charity event and a second edition of International Semiotics Instruments. So this is a concert evening where also ICON participants are welcome to give impromptu performances. Like last year, we shall be with our friends at the Cultural Association Largo, and among other things, we will have an opportunity to raise funds for and awareness on the problems of orphan children and challenged families in Lithuania. On Wednesday, Eero and Eila Tarasti and their musicians will invite us to this very hall to celebrate Jean Sibelius' 150th anniversary. On Thursday, we propose a night at the theater with a representation of Max Frisch's biography, an event for which you were asked already to register, and registration is still open, so if you wish, please let us know. And those who wish not to attend theater, you have an opportunity to have a guided tour of Kaunas city, and for practical information, please access the information desk tomorrow. On Friday, at the end of the Congress, we invite you all to a small informational toast for survivors, as we call it. We know that some of you may have already left by Friday, but we are trying to corrupt all of you to make it possible to come on Friday for a last glass of sparkling wine. So those who have plans for leaving on Friday, so think twice before leaving. Outside the lecture rooms in the information desk area, you will find plenty of books from tomorrow. Today, we apologize, we didn't manage to arrange the book desks, but tomorrow there will be 2 book desks at the information desk. And like last year, we will have the successful book fair trade. So tomorrow you will be able to exchange your books or to contribute. And this is already our regular feature of the Congress. You are also welcome to bring some things or toys for the children or children's books. So these will be donated to the Children's House Atžalynas in Kaunas. And as we say, bring as many books as you can, and you can exchange them with the books that we have got at the Institute. And also some books will be exhibited or just presented as for traditional sale. And in conclusion, all of us made here our best to feel you at home. Like at this faculty, we have a sort of a slogan as feeling at home at this faculty. So I'm sure that during this week you will also feel like at home here, and very welcome and dear guests. So have a great week. Thank you.
gentlemen, dear friends, dear colleagues, welcome and good afternoon. It's a great pleasure to welcome you to the second edition of the International Congress on Numanities. My name is Dario Martinelli. I'm the director of the International Semiotics Institute, and it's always really great to see how many of you are joining this Congress, despite the new ideas that we propose every time. But this is really a pleasure, and as our Dean already said, it's so nice to see this mix of familiar faces and new faces. Familiar faces means that we did our job well enough for some of you to will to come back, and new faces means that we did another part of a good job in trying to make somebody else interested in what we do. So, as I did last year, this is going to be a short report of our activities. So now the Institute is full part of Kaunas University of Technology, and its activities, its strategies, and I feel this is a good opportunity to let you know a little bit the kind of things that we do, the little achievements, the ideas for the future, some little surprise. Let me start also by mentioning something about the musical number you've just been witnessing. Maybe some of you have been wondering why this Thank You Poland thing. We decided that it would be nice to start another little tradition in these opening ceremonies. Every year we would like to thank one of the countries that have been visiting the Congress. And last year it was, of course, important to underline the transition from Finland to Lithuania after 25 years of experience in Imatra. The Institute moved to Kaunas, so of course it was an obvious choice. But then when we were thinking about who could be the next one, we thought about a group of researchers who always come with great enthusiasm. They always come numerous. They have the longest titles in their papers. So it's always a great pleasure to welcome our Polish colleagues. So we thought of starting this little tradition with, of course, you heard Scherzo number 3 by Frédéric Chopin. Marvelously interpreted by Agnia Petraitite, whom I would like to thank once again. And since we are talking about the artistic program of this Congress, once more a big thank to Motiejus Bazaras, the Bazaras brothers trio. They are incredible. I want them every year. I don't know if that's possible, but think about it. Anyway, you will hear again Motiejus later, and that's another part of what we would like to do in these opening ceremonies, which is introducing you to some of the hidden gems of Lithuanian music. There may be a tendency for some of the people who are not from Lithuania to associate Lithuania immediately with Čiurlionis, which of course is fair enough, and it is such an important heritage. But at the same time, this kind of association tend to overshadow the incredible musical texture, artistic texture for the matter, that goes on in a country like Lithuania. So hopefully, from this year onwards, you're going to listen to some musical pieces that are not exactly the ones you will expect. So we will start with the Grodis Sonata, and again, Motiejus will be our performer. And I'm sure you will enjoy that as well. Now, to this edition of the Congress, some of you via our social network pages may have already been familiar with our Google map of academic institutions that are visiting us. So this is a shot from the whole planet. As you can see, only Oceania is not represented this year, so we'll try to fix that. But the funny thing is that I learned that one of our English colleagues is in fact from Australia. So there you go. But the institutions that you see there, the colors actually, red stands for like a traditional university. Then you can see also some green, which stands for polytechnics type of institutions. Then you also have a blue I will later show you the European part, which stands for Arts or Music or Theater Academies. Thank you. And purple is a kind of general color for all other types of institutions that have visited us, including independent scholars. So this is also a screenshot from Europe. Then, obviously, organizing a Congress is very demanding in many senses. One of these senses is the energy and the time that all of us are putting into organizing, but of course you receive also support in different forms, sometimes financial, sometimes support in terms of services, and once again support in terms of time that people or companies place in the organization. So this is the institutions we would like to thank for different reasons. Some of which I will be able to tell you in detail, but for instance, for some of the cultural program has been possible thanks to this support. But it's mostly people that I would like to thank, and here is an approximate list, because after all, plenty of colleagues and friends have been devoting some time to help us in many ways. So this goes to all the people you see listed there, plus some more. I'm mentioning Motiejus, but of course also his two brothers. I'm mentioning Aaron and Latarsi, but of course also the musicians they brought to play for us on Wednesday, and so on. Some people also as groups, as departments were particularly helpful. So I would like to thank particularly the Dean's Office and the Department of Modern Languages and Intercultural Communication. And then I would like to fix something I should have done last year, as a matter of fact, and that's Imatra City Library, who has donated us most of the books that Eero and his team have been collecting for 25 years. We are extremely grateful because this is an enormous heritage that they gave us. We'll find a way to thank them more directly, but this is a good opportunity to express once again our gratitude. Some of the novelties. Both Jurgita and Audra have told you that we are going to stay home this week. So finally we have a faculty of our own, which looks like this. And you have been already seeing this building this morning. This is actually the oldest building that was built by the Kaunas University of Technology, the first witness of academic life in Kaunas, institutionalized academic life in Kaunas, and it dates back to 1922. So the building has been actually not fully functional for some time, or anyway needs of renovation. When the transition from Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences became merged into one faculty of Social Sciences, Arts and Humanities, this building was renovated, and now this is our home. And Jurgita has been extremely clever, but at the same time very emotionally powerful in associating the atmosphere of our faculty in feeling like home. This has been a recurrent motive, and we hope this will be the case also for all of you. Also, that means that the International Semiotics Institute has official headquarters. Some of you have already visited them. This is room 111, quite easy to remember. So you have your sessions both in the first and in the second floor. Our institute is in the first floor, in the room 111. And what I would like you to do actually during the coffee breaks, whenever you would like to visit the institute, we would be very happy to show you our premises, what we have done so far. You'll see a lot of work in progress, a lot of mess. One of the problems in changing from Eero's direction into my direction is that the amount of disorder and mess has been increasing. But then again, it's normally a metaphor of creativity, or so they say at least. Anyway, Next thing, I would like to give you a short report of the events that we have been organizing as Institute during the academic year 2014-2015, so basically from last ICON to nowadays. So, of course, we start with the first edition of ICON. Top left, you see the publicity that our great Majid Beboudi has prepared. You'll hear more of this name today. And down right, one of the photographs taken exactly in this very place. Last year, as you remember, the whole Congress was in this place, while for this time we are just keeping it for the opening ceremony and for the concert evening on Wednesday. Otherwise, everything else will take place in the faculty where you've been this morning. So it has been an extremely successful. It went beyond every expectation, really, and it's amazing that this year we are even more than last year. So we are soon reaching the point in which the Congress will not be sustainable for our resources, and this may be a message for our dean and rectors, maybe to increase the staff so that we can contain more of you. Then, in December. Thanks to a project that we won with the Lithuanian Cultural Council, Mindaugas Kapsavičius, one of our researchers, was behind this project. We organized a symposium on interdisciplinary practices called How to Things. This is actually part of a larger project. So there was the specific event, a one-day symposium that took place where people from totally different areas came to talk about the possibility of interdisciplinary dialogues. But if you go to howto-things.com, you will find a wiki page that was constructed out of that project. And this is something ongoing. There are videos, there are documents, and Mindaugas is constantly working in enriching that page. So this is one of the outcomes of what we are trying to do. When we talk about Numanities, we very much talk about these interdisciplinary dialogues. Sometimes this morning I've already heard people saying that, well, I'm not sure actually how much semiotics is in my presentation. But really, we are in this particular Congress, semiotics is a framework, is a methodology, but we are aiming to interdisciplinarity as such. So any kind of confrontation or dialogue or even clash sometimes, which is not bad, is very welcome in this Congress, as it is in the How To project. Another thing that took place in December is the second edition of the Mandelathon. Mandelathon was started actually in December 2013, 1 week after Nelson Mandela passed away. It was a very spontaneous initiative that we had. Officially, the ISI was not established yet because we were officially established in January 2014. The transition was clear already and we were preparing for that. But we kind of kicked off with this particular event, which is a one-day study, lecture plus screening about Mandela, his significance in the media, and so on. It is mostly open to the students of the audiovisual arts department and the people in the media philosophy program, but it's in fact open to everybody. So we plan to do a third edition this year. Maybe we will do something else, something a bit richer, we'll see, but we are working on that. And of course, this is one of my favorite quotation from Mandela, which I think says a lot about the reasons why we are still here, after all, despite the difficulties that humanities may experience in these days. Actually, not too long ago, there was the ceremony for the diplomas that our students achieved. And every faculty was asked to present their work in a short video presentation. And I actually sent an SMS to Jurgita after that saying how proud I was about our video, because it was all about this kind of quotations. So all other faculties were choosing some kind of display of their work, while we chose, or the people who did that, chose a number of inspirational quotes which are about the importance of education, research, and humanities in changing the world and making a better this a better place. So I was extremely proud, and I think events like the Mandelathon and to an extent ICON are about that as well. Then, something about the communication, the outreach of the Institute. You are probably aware that we have 3 main platforms by which we communicate to everybody via the web. So one is, of course, our website. And so this is www.icsemiotics.eu. Something that perhaps I would like to say about this website is that we do our best to make it a very informative platform, particularly when it comes to ICON. So my hope and my invitation to everybody is to make more use of it. Because most of the questions that we received, for instance, during our communication were actually about information that was written there already. So we really hope that you will use that as the main interface, particularly when it comes to the events that we organize. Then we have our Facebook and Twitter accounts, which are connected. Basically, the same type of information is published regularly. And this became our news platform, really. Even if you go to the news section of the website, it redirects you to Facebook or Twitter. So we publish news about what we do, but we also publish news about what other people are doing, other institutions. And whenever we find a conference or an event that seems to be interesting for our community, you find some information there. Something perhaps interesting and amusing that I would like to tell you at this point was that around, was it March or early April, we reached something like 943 likes. And the tension started to increase because I so much wanted to welcome you today with 1,000 likes. And little by little, it grew up to the last 2 weeks when it got stuck to 999. And it stayed like that for days. I started already having a plan B, how nice is not to have a sharp figure, and 999 is such a nice number, is the devil number upside down. I tried all kind of alternative solutions until finally, just a few days ago, we had a wave, possibly from some of you as well, knowing that you would be coming to here. Now we are about 1,040 or something like that. So anyway, thank you very much for liking our page. Please keep on using it. We do our best to make it a pleasant place to visit in Facebook. Then water. So, and then as I said, one of the main issues about institutionalizing the institute as an academic institution, as the equivalent of a department as we are now, is that most of the work we create is through projects. So we do projects all the time, and we try with those to create possibility for people to work with us, for us. So there is a short report of the projects that we've been doing last year after the first ICON, actually even a little bit before. You will see a rosette on the ones that were successful. So, so the first one that we got was this Music and Politics, an analysis of protest songs and Lithuanian singing revolution with the Lithuanian Research Council. So this is ongoing, it's a 3-year project. Then I mentioned about the How to Interdisciplinary Guide, which was for the Lithuanian Cultural Council, and that was funded last year. Then, still thanks to Mindaugas, who is our serial winner of projects, we got another one from the Cultural Council, whose results are actually being displayed during this very Congress. So it's called Green Technology and the Concept of Phytomining. So there is a round table that was started this morning, and this is the result of the project, which will go on up to this summer. And then we are trying to think big to an extent. And we have two Horizon projects. One that has been submitted just a couple of weeks ago, and that's called Dante Digital Culture and Creativity for an Inclusive Society. This is aiming to the twinning program, if any of you is aware of it. And we are leaders of a consortium that includes also the University of Torino and the Alvar Aalto University in Helsinki. So if this project is successful for 3 years, we will improve the staff exchange and events related with digital culture and creativity. The idea of inclusive society starts from one of the 5 smart specializations that Lithuania has, which is exactly focused on creativity for inclusive society. Then another kind of ambitious project that we have as leaders is called MARS, Mapping the Resistant Soundscapes. That aims to another program of Horizon. By the way, I'm sorry, I put Horizon 2010, of course it's 2020. It's like reflecting about the past cultural heritage. So anyway, Horizon 2020, and it's a program called Reflective Societies. We are, well, as a matter of fact, we haven't applied technically yet. The project is ready, but the deadline is in a couple of days. All these projects involve all our staff, which later I will have the great pleasure to introduce to everybody. In this case, we are coordinating a consortium that includes also the University of Ljubljana and Austrian Academy of Sciences. Then, the last one, I don't see Christian. I'm not sure if he's here today. Anyway, so Christian Bankov is with the New Bulgarian University, is the leader of a consortium which we have joined. And it's an application for the Erasmus Plus program. It's called ICAO, very nice title that Christian devised, International Creativity Outsourcing Workshop. And so we are partners in this project. However, in this particular moment, there is one little surprise that I have kept secret to most of you. And actually, there was a person supposed to come and tell you directly, but unfortunately she fell sick. So she apologizes a lot, but she sent a letter to read to everybody, which I'm going to show you in a minute. How to start this, how to keep the suspense. Let's take it from the beginning, which people who know me knows it's one of my specialities, just taking from Adam and Eve all the time. When we started with this idea of Numanities, there were a few, we were welcome in most cases with enthusiastic feedback. But some of the feedback were also of the types, well, actually, you should change it. It looks really like a typos. No, this won't work. People will think that this is totally crazy and so on. But at the Institute, we believed a lot in this label, exactly in this function of not really being a discipline, but just being an opportunity for people to discuss various aspects in the current position and challenges of humanities. So we started thinking at some point, if we manage to get a book series from a very prestigious publisher in Numanities, well, that probably will make a point or two about our idea and our intention. So I'm very proud to announce that just a few days ago, I spoke with Lucy Flatt via Skype. So it was a case of losing the Skype. I've been hoping to do this joke for ages. But anyway, and so I'm very proud to announce that the International Semiotics Institute will direct a book series on humanities for Springer. So, yeah, thank you. So Lucy Flatt is one of the publishing responsible for Springer. So she was supposed to come here. We have some material that she sent through the courier, so tomorrow you will see also some Springer material displayed in our information desk. But she sent a very nice letter. Unfortunately, she fell quite seriously sick. I mean, nothing that will have big consequences, but she really couldn't travel. But she sent a very nice letter, which I'm going to read to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a commissioning editor from Springer's Humanities and Social Science unit. Thank you very much for offering me the opportunity to attend the second International Congress of Numanities this week. Unfortunately, due to health reasons, I cannot join. This is regretful, as I was looking forward to meeting a new community of scholars, new to Springer anyway. It's taken a little while, but I'm very pleased to announce that we will commence the Numanities book series under the editorship of Dario Martinelli. It is anticipated that before the year is out, we will have 2 or 3 titles in production. The series will offer a platform to all those scholars striving to integrate the humanities within an interdisciplinary context. Springer is very excited about this new collaboration and looks forward to conveying a strong message of interdisciplinarity and cultural modernity in our publishing portfolios. May I wish you all an inspiring and productive week here in Kaunas, and hopefully look forward to working with some of you directly in the imminent future. Thank you. Lucy Flett, Springer Science and Business Media, Philosophy and History and Science. So this is really great news for the activities of the Institute, because it gives a very strong outlet for the type of research that we are doing. Something that perhaps is important to say is that the series will mostly publish monographs. So we have already 1 monograph on the works about post-humanism. Of course, I will myself write one to kind of introduce the concept. And then there are quite a few planned already for the future. When it comes to essay collections, of course, we are not aiming to publish proceedings of Congress. But if any of you, from the type of paper presentations that you are giving these days or in the future, would be interested in making like a study, an extensive essay, and feel ready to undergo a rather serious procedure of referring, then please, you are very welcome, and we can discuss this also during our coffee breaks. So this is going to be really an ongoing series for showing the potentials and challenges of humanities and interdisciplinary humanities in our context. Now, finally, I have an opportunity to leave the floor to someone else. I'm very, very happy to have the opportunity to introduce you to our staff, our current researcher staff in the International Semiotics Institute. So you may remember last year we started, well, in the very beginning, it was just me and Audra, really. Then we started adding some researchers. You may remember Mindaugas and Rima from last year. So I'm already happy to tell you that this year we are 6 already, and we are planning and hoping to grow up in the future. So now we have 2 new entries, Simona Stano from University of Torino and Ulrika Varankaite from Kaunas University of Technology. So what I would like to do is actually to invite them on the floor and just say a couple of words about their activities, their profile. So you will also associate this institute to many faces, not just one, not just 2. So welcome. We start with Audra Dobrajena.
Thank you. To tell you the truth, I'm a little bit confused when I have to present myself, because I say I have so many personalities here or positions working at the Institute. So besides doing the administrative work, I am also a research staff member of the Institute, and my research is mainly related to translation and linguistics and e-learning. And this year, as we started publishing the Congress proceedings, I was also a co-editor of ICON proceedings. And I hope very much to also continue in the direction of digital humanities with a project that we have application that we have started this spring. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, I think my photo is a little bit better as myself, so maybe next time I shouldn't come here. Yeah, Mindaugas Gapševičius. Thanks, first of all, Dario, inviting me to join your team. It was a really big pleasure to say. And yeah, first of all, Numanities. I was Googling a little bit before our meeting, and I thought, okay, Numanities, what is that, you know? And at the end I was thinking, okay, this probably, it makes probably more sense, Numanities, to call it Numanities as post-humanism, because it is all about new, upcoming future, right? And post-humanism is like many things already been called like this, using post. So I thought, yeah, Numanities is a kind of good word to call the things. So it's not a typo, but it's a really good word. Yeah, my background is artistic. I was studying visual arts, and I'm an artist, probably. But yeah, I do a lot of things besides artistic practice. In parallel, I do research at Goldsmiths University, and I do research here. And I also teach a little bit at Weimar University. And yeah, probably many more things I could add in between, like system administration maybe. I have a couple of servers myself. Then what else? Projects, right. You mentioned a couple of projects I was doing, organizing, writing. So projects is also kind of thing I develop as well. What else? Yeah, my interest is post-humanism, and that's probably the connection between me and the Institute. And for the Institute is, of course, my focus is on visual arts and probably projects as well. And I will be, of course, glad bringing into the Semiotics Institute a little bit of visual aesthetics, not only sonic aesthetics, not only written aesthetics, but also visual aesthetics. And I think with that we will be even stronger, right? Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm the fourth one, or the first on the downline. I'm Rima. I'm very glad that I joined this institute, and I'll repeat Mindaugas. He had a great pleasure, me too. But after that, when I got an invitation, I thought, my God, it's a great challenge for me. And I didn't suppose that it will be a really great challenge, because now I may say it's a year when I shifted from one of my research field to another, and it was thanks to maybe this institute to invitation to write an article on a new subject. And now I'm doing really great new thing in historical research and in music research of First World War, in Lithuanian history, and it was, I may say, thanks to semiotics activity, to institute activity. And attending this conference for the second time Last year I was only an observer. This year I'm going to present some presentations, to make presentations, and I really like this sense of being in the family of semioticians, in the family of this Congress, and joining the institute, joining this community. I feel really glad, so thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Simona Stano, I'm from Italy, and I had the great pleasure to join the Institute in February this year, after gaining a double PhD from the University of Torino and the University of Lugano, also visiting the University of Toronto. Now I'm working as a researcher at the Institute and also as a lecturer at Kaunas University of Technology. And yeah, I'm also a postdoc research fellow at the University of Torino, and I'm lecturing in some universities in Europe. And yeah, I would like to thank Dario, Jurgita, and yeah, all the ISI team to welcome me. I really appreciated working with them, and yeah, it is a team full of energy and yeah, great kind of energy, and I hope all of you can feel these during these days. So thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Ulrika Varankaite, and I'm a junior researcher at the Institute, and perhaps the youngest member of our team. Although I joined the Institute officially in February, I've been involved in different activities as a student since the Institute moved to Kaunas. And I'm responsible not only for research or organizational things, but also I'm responsible for our office's interior. So to be more specific, it's decoupage, and I'm still in the process because now I'm doing my internship at Cognitive Brain Research Unit at the University of Helsinki. But when I'm back and when it's finished, I think we will have a very cozy office and non-standard office furniture. And mainly my research interests would be music semiotics and music psychology, and now I would like to involve even more a bit of neuroscience. And I'm really also happy to be here at the Institute and work with these very nice people, and to be here, to wish you all a very nice week here in Kaunas. And so, once again, welcome to the ICON 2015. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. I know what you're thinking. We have a gender equality issue in the Institute. We are working to hire more men. Sooner or later, we'll manage. Actually, not too long ago, my son Elmis was visiting the premises. I promised long ago to see where Daddy works, and so he came. And actually, in that particular occasion, it just happens that in the office there was only Ulrika and Auder. Then I just brought him around, brought him to the dean's office. There was Jurgita, Aushra. Then for some reason, it was only women that day. Just also in the corridor, we were meeting other. And so with that kind of innocence that only kids can have, it just looks at me, Daddy, why are there only women here? So I thought it was this case of La città delle donne by Federico Fellini. Okay, and now we have actually a special moment to remember a friend that was a friend of the International Semiotics Institute, of particularly the Musical Signification Project, which was one of the many creatures that Eero Tarasti brought to us. He was attending many congresses in musical semiotics. I'm sure he would have been here sooner or later. And his name is Leonardo Polato. He was a semiotician, he was a composer, he was a friend. He just passed away in a very sudden manner. By the way, there is a possibility that his family is watching on streaming now, so I really give my best regards on the behalf of everybody. And I just thought that it was really the case of taking some time to remember this friend. He was a very nice, funny guy. He had a very sharp sense of humor. He was the kind of person you could really duel and topping each other's with jokes. He had only one limitation. He was an Inter Milan supporter, which for a Juventus fan like me is a major sin. But we could joke also about that. He was mostly interested in musical semiotics, so we decided that we have a session specifically about musical semiotics in this Congress, so we decided to dedicate it to him, to his memory. And I was thinking maybe we should do a moment of silence, but then I changed my mind because he was a scholar and he was a composer, so he was a man of words and he was a man of music. And at the same time, one of his major topics in his research was musical listening. So I really would like to propose to listen to one of his compositions. It was based on a passage by James Joyce. It's called Epiphany Poor Joyce. So we just take some time to listen to it, if you don't mind, to just remember this friend, this great semiotician and great composer, Leonardo Polato.
That is no dancing.
It's
shout to him words of praise. Short arrogantly over the heads of the multiple. Is not the dancing of harlots, the dance of the daughters of Herodias. Rose up from the midst of the people, sudden and young and male, and falls again to earth in tremulous sobbing to die. Upon its triumph.
All right. So, now we are actually transitating into the second last segment of this ceremony. Last year, we started another little tradition, the awarding of a prize, which we call Icon Award. So last year, you may remember, we gave this lifetime achievement to Eero Tarasti, to Philip Tag, and also we gave a junior award to 3 students, one of which was Ulrika, by the way. So these awards are a good investment also for the future. But we made a little change. Last year, the people who received the award were actually informed about this achievement. We decided that maybe it's nicer if we actually don't tell you in advance. So now the people who will receive it will learn it now for the first time. And it will be nice to see their spontaneousness and perhaps embarrassment in the situation, but let's see how they manage. So we would like to start with the Lifetime Achievement Award. So we decided that this second edition should be given, well, actually to a number of people, not just a single, people who represent a community who has been a friend of ISI for many years, and it has provided a very strong event within the event in the summer school of semiotics in Imatra first, and then later into the International Congress of Numanities. So this community is here for the 11th time already. So I'm very, very pleased to give the second Icon Award for Lifetime Achievement to the Semiotics and Translation Symposium. So I invite Pirjo and Ritva here, if they are.
What a surprise. It's like getting the Oscars prize. Thank you very much. Honored hosts and guests, Director of ISI, Professor Dario Martinelli, dear audience. We are so glad and honored for this sign. What is semiotics for us? For me, since the 1980s, when I found ISI conferences and Tarastis in Imatra, Finland, semiotics is about life. Life science, as Thomas Sebeok coined it. Semiotics is about science in society and, of course, in culture, as de Saussure has written. Semiotics is thought science, semiosis, act of signification, as Peirce coined it. Science and science systems live and become significant in semiospheres, as Yuri Lotman has written. Science are about our inner world, thought science, but also about heartbeat science, rhythms of the body, pulsating body. They are about moi, I, self, identity, and something outside me and inside me, society. Soi, about norms, values, habits. Signs are Cora, body and identity, as Julia Kristeva has formed it. The subject in process. We are expressions of modalities, being, becoming, doing, and so on, in sign worlds and processes. Well, our existence is in existential semiotics, as Professor Eero Tarasti shows us. Semiosis is going on around us in a never-ending process. In the beginning was a sign or the sign, we never know, since that we have all these wonderful different sign systems which give us our work, our research objectives. And this time, here, the theme of creativity, diversity, development, how creation of science happens. So we are all homo interpres, homo significans, but also homo ludens. We are the playing man and woman. Semiotics for me is a great joy, joy of life, a creative scientific research of science, science systems, making sense, meaning, and signification. Sign translation and translative thinking ongoing, as Victoria Welby, a pre-semiotician, wrote in 1903 and 1911. Semiotics for me and Ritva is a constant creative mind, language, culture, and communication game and play, as chess or some other play. It is a dialogue, polylogue, polyphonic play, but also science in conflict, a scene of heteroglossia, but an interplay of science and sign systems. So thank you so much for this life sign being so significant for me and for Ritva. Would you like to say something?
I'm surprised. And Peirce wrote that the life we lead is a life of science. But what Peirce didn't know is that we can also have a life of prizes and also of surprises. Surprise is something that starts research. We wonder why things are this or that. And I think that's the most significant notice for a researcher, that we still find something to make research on, and besides we can also get some money for that. There's not a sign. in that way, we are very privileged among people.
So thank you so much, Dario. Thank you, and all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Although obviously we have a spy in the Institute, because the written speech was a little... Then again, for the first 80% of the speech, it could have been written for just any occasion. So maybe you had that ready, and you just updated it in the last few seconds. Okay, next year we'll do a better job to keep it even more secret. But I'm quite sure that the second awarded person is actually unaware of this. So this time it's the junior award, and we decided to give it to a person who has, despite his very young age, has been already doing a brilliant career, and he was so helpful and so instrumental and so generous in starting up the Institute. He helped us a lot, and it was all on a voluntary basis. So he's a friend, he's a brilliant mind, he's a very creative person. And the second Icon Award for a junior researcher goes very happily with gratitude to Majid Beboudi.
Take another look at this. Oh yeah. Well, thank you very much. I'm kind of really shocked at this time. I can't. Wow. Yeah. This has been a great ride since. Well, the story how I got into semiotics is actually a good one. My school back in my undergrad in Cyprus. We had a conference on semiotics. I was, I think, 17 or 18 back then. Eritreasi had a lecture on that I attended. At the end of the lecture, I'm like, I didn't understand anything in this lecture. So I went to Ero. I'm like, can I? It sounded interesting, and I want to get to know more about it. And he was kind enough to, send me emails, give me a lot of literature on it, invite me to Finland a couple of times, which is, I think of it my second home. And since then, I've been in contact with semiotics, and I really like the family of semioticians, especially in Imatra. And this is my first time in Kaunas, which I'm really excited. I like the city; it's quite nice. But yeah, thank you very much. I hope to see a lot of faces. I'm running a workshop, so we can have an increase of participants on a daily basis. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. So, thank you, Majid. Now we are approaching the last segment of our ceremony. So, as I promised, this is going to be another musical number. And as we said, this is an opportunity to discover Lithuanian music a little bit more than how it is normally presented to the international community. So, there might be some time for arranging the stage. But in the meanwhile, please let me inform you that as soon as the performance is over, you are all invited to the 6th floor. So we have a nice reception for all of you. You're all very welcome. And thank you very much for attending this ceremony. Once more, welcome to ICON 2015. I wish all of you a very, very inspiring week in Kaunas and in KTU. Thank you very much.